the broadcast, join in on the conversation. So Spencer came over for dinner last night, my son who attends SMU. And he was telling me some really interesting things that are going on because of the Bush Library that's opening. He said that campus is basically, on lockdown, although they have not canceled classes because they want it to look like a thriving campus. But they're making it really difficult, understandably so. But the kids are not allowed to carry backpacks on campus. They can't park anywhere in the vicinity of campus. Apparently they have to take a shuttle. They have to drive somewhere and then take a shuttle in. And I said, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to classes? He goes, I don't know. He's like a little nervous.
So basically stay off all of those roads surrounding SMU today.
Well, they have the biggest conglomeration of political people. Past
every living president, plus President
wow.
Obama, plus foreign dignitaries, plus, I mean, it just puts you on edge a little bit.
I'm going to tell you, if that was me, I would stay away. I mean, if I was a student, that would be the day I would miss classes.
Yeah.
Especially with so much stuff going on in the country. When you think about now this Amtrak train, was subject to a bombing or a terrorist act, this week, and just what happened in Boston. And it's just so much turmoil going on. I don't think I would go.
But I kind of like the attitude of the Bostonians who did not shut down, they stayed inside, but then they all rallied and they got out and they got on the streets and they're out because the only way you fight fear is to face it.
Well,
the only way to get over being afraid of the horse is to get on it.
Well, they rallied afterwards, but during, when it was just so much going on, really they said stay in your homes.
Yeah, they were locked down.
Stay on lockdown right now till we can figure out what's going on. I'm just saying I would not as students take any extra
there were so many funny tweets and social media going on during all the Boston stuff. There was one that Adam Sandler, I think, tweeted, and he said, Boston is the only city that if you mess with us, he used a different word, we will hunt you down and kill you. And I remember
shut down the city
the one time that I visited Boston, I remember people are kind of not abrasive, but they definitely don't have that like Southern hospitality.
Yes.
They're just a little bit more, I think abrasive is the word.
Direct. They're direct.
Right.
Yeah, so it's so true. I mean, if you've been to Boston or you have friends from Boston, they took this manhunt seriously, and they were like, we will find you and we will kill you and we will make sure that you never mess with our city ever again.
And I'm telling you, I know those police officers had a little extra moment with that guy. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Don't you think they had like just an extra little moment before they took him in?
I think they were so watched. And I think they did everything by the book because it could blow the whole thing, having caught him. If they, no, I don't think they did.
Okay.
I think they acted great.
Here's an interesting story that came out of the whole thing. There was a man, he lives in Austin. He was in the marathon, and it was just seconds after he crossed the finish line, the first bomb exploded. And then when he came home, he was traveling along the highway to go to some kind of meeting or something when the blast happened in West.
I read about this.
Wow. Yeah, so I'm sure he's feeling just a little bit lucky that he was able to narrowly escape both disasters. And of course, in West, our hearts go out to those families today who are burying loved ones and preparing to bury their
loved ones. And his wife, Amy, was near the finish line when she took that photo. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever been close to a disaster? Or
Yes.
Really?
I was in a helicopter and got out of it about 10 minutes before it went down and killed the pilot.
Really?
Jesus.
When you were doing news?
For KBIL.
Oh, wow.
I was 6 months pregnant, and I had morning sickness, and we had flown. I didn't really want to go up that morning because I was kind of queasy, but I went up. And anyway, I asked the pilot, Elliot Cohen, to put me down. He was a new pilot with the crew that usually flew me. And we flew across Love Field, and we landed at North Park Inn, where the chopper always had the helipad. And anyway, we went in and had a cup of coffee, and I stayed down on the ground, and he went up. And he was killed in about 6 minutes from that time.
That has to change
down on
your
Preston Road.
That has
on
to change
Preston
your
Road,
perspective.
In the alley, behind the church, and I can't remember if it was First Presbyterian Church or what church it was.
When that happened, and you found out that happened, did it change your perspective
No,
on
I got
everything?
back on and went up Monday. I went back up Monday. Because you have to.
Well, sure, but did it make you think, did it make you view life differently if you're that close to something that could have killed you?
Yes. It makes you think, why him, why not me?
Right.
Why him, why not me? And so, but my faith leads me to, when it's your time, it's your time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you better spend your time here doing good things.
Amen.
Just do good things, be nice, be kind, don't be selfish, be generous, you know? That's what it makes you think of.
Right. You're right,
Live
Susie.
every day like you're dying,
right.
that Tim McGraw song.
Like
Love
you're
that.
dying. That's it.
Live every day like if it were your last day, what would you do?
Do you think you really live every day like that? Because I know in theory it sounds great, but I know that I don't.
No, I don't. I think it's hard. I think the hardest thing is to stay in the moment. And you know that saying, one day at a time, the way the world is right now, I live 30 minutes at a time. Just
Yeah.
take 30 minutes at a time. Or 10. Just take 10 minutes.
Just 1 minute at a time.
10 minutes.
You know what,
Yes.
though? I'll say this, and just speaking about raising children or relationships or dating or anything, I think that if you try your hardest truly to live in the moment, you don't sweat the small stuff. You don't argue about the dumb things. I mean,
Right.
Scott and I laugh so much. We laugh more than we argue. We laugh about our arguments because they're so dumb.
They're so stupid.
And I think if you really lived your life like that, where you were truly in the moment, you wouldn't worry about all the things that are coming up in the future, and you wouldn't worry about all the junk that went on in the past. You wouldn't let it affect what's happening in the present, but it's so hard to do.
You know, it's interesting because my mother, I tease her about this, but she's notorious for being just such a worrier. Like anything, like I could be driving to Austin, she's like, text me when you get there.
Oh my
like,
gosh, my
I'm
mom
just
too, yeah.
praying for your safe trip. Like just everything from, oh, I'm going out on Greenville Avenue for St. Patrick's Day. Will you be careful and take a cab? Like just everything. And I'm always like, Mom, I got this. Like I'm an adult. Like stop worrying. And over the past, year with, the reality show and the new reality show and just several big life changes that have happened to me in the past 2 years, I'd say. I think it's helped her faith, it's helped my faith because she's like, I've gotten to the point, Courtney, that I can't worry about what's going to come out of your mouth. I can't worry about the decisions you're going to make because
Right.
you continue to make good decisions. And I think it's helped our relationship, me respect that she worries because I'm her only daughter and her kind of to be a little bit more spontaneous and less of a worrywart.
And that's a good point. I think that has probably built my faith more than anything as being a mom. Because you worry about your kids, but you have no control.
Right.
And I have learned to truly give it to God because He knows what's going to happen. Think about all the energy and all the anxiety we waste, which really tears down your body.
This is so true.
No, it really does. And so I've learned to know I got to give it to God and just let Him be in total control because there is no way I can control what's going to happen in the future. There's no way.
And then look what you're fighting to stay in the moment. You're fighting a cell phone. You're fighting text messages.
Yes.
Which take you out of the moment, put you into somebody else's life. We live under the assumption that something so important is happening every moment that we can't miss a minute.
And I think what it makes us think is, or it's at least done this for me, is when I'm stressed out about something or I'm worried about something or I'm not living in a moment, I'm like, is what I'm freaked out about right now really going to be relevant in, let's say, 5 days or 5
Right.
weeks or 5 months
Or
or
5
5 years? Like,
Is
just
this really
enjoy
gonna
this
matter?
moment right now and just...
So here's
Let
my
it
challenge
go.
to the three of you and my challenge to all of you at home. Today, take today, live today in the moment as best you can. And then I want to hear back from everybody how things changed for you or how your perspective changed in some way.
That's good, Lisa.
Won't that be fun?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Love
Okay,
it.
so you can Facebook and tweet us at D The Broadcast and let us know after today what your lesson was today.